The National Party, again, has shown just how inept they are at performing as an opposition, and let alone if they had been an elected government. What is wrong with this bunch? When I read the news item that Judith Collins had moved on a complaint against Bridges, a complaint of 5 years ago, I couldn't believe what I was reading, or even believe that a leader of any party would take that stance of retribution against a former leader. Did Judith Collins know there was going to be a leader challenge a matter of days away, or was she just being bitchy? If National Parliamentary Wing were planning a leadership coup at this time, it shows just what a lot of wits they truly are. We presently have a most evil, dangerous and dominating government doing what they want on many fronts, and they must be over the moon as they now have virtually a free run at any of their hidden policies to turn New Zealand into New Zimbabwe. This hit job on Bridges was certainly so poorly timed, but mind you, so was his clearly bungled coup attempt. But look at all the things they could be jumping on here. The staggering MIQ announcements, no Kiwis coming home for Christmas, no Trans-Tasman bubble, in fact, no access for Australians at all without MIQ until April next year. For goodness sake. This cruel and dictatorial decision by Labour is a gift of magnitude to any opposition. But in fact, even the Kiwis who can come home mid-January still have to self-isolate for 7 days when they do. It's pure Fortress New Zealand madness and ripe fodder for a proper and well-functioning opposition. The timing is so right now, for the opposition to have an absolute field day with the government's mess is all there for the taking, and yet what does National do? Shoots itself in the foot, yes, again. Mind you, who really wanted National as any kind of political party at this time? They were a clone of Labour, and most of their policies. Remember, it was Key and his nincompoop cabinet in secret allowed Charples to fade into the night and end up in New York to sign the United Nations Treaty for Indigenous people. All kept secret from you, the New Zealand voter, not unlike, really, very much like the secrecy of Te Purpur that has been rolled out by Labour. Looking at Labour, looking at National, they're both very light on the ground, having any one individual suitable for cabinet position. National finding a new leader with any credibility at this moment seems almost impossible. If Bridges was planning a coup at this time, it shows what a bunch of galahs National Parliamentary Wing truly is. And here we are, back at the root of everything National keeps getting wrong, forgetting who they are here to serve. We do need to fill this void in the real opposition created by National Party's internal quabbles. So who are we left with? If you believe TV1's Mackay, it's either Mark Mitchell, really, Chris Luxton, Mr. Woke at the best, and with Nicole Willis and Chris Bishop as outside chances. No mention of Mr. Retty. Well, maybe he's just checking his numbers before throwing his hat in the ring. New Zealand budget has grown out of hand under this Ardern Labour government and has never grown as fast as it has over the last 18 months. The Reserve Bank's money printing has come back to bite us with a higher inflation and interest rates. Grant Robinson is spending so much that it's nearly impossible for anybody, let alone the public, to keep up. That is why good, strong opposition is just so damn important. The national debt clock is groaning under the pressure. Right now, the government has borrowed the equivalent of $72,378 for every Kiwi household. The debt monster is growing faster than ever before, and the government appears to have no plan to move New Zealand back into surplus. All this money will have to be repaid by our kids, our grandkids, and their kids. Can we please get a political party that is principled and cares about us? That is, the New Zealand people. All the self-interest from all parties is now downright abominable. New Zealand need an opposition and candidates that are well removed from the wokeness, not a Labour clone. Also, why do they care so much about the media's opinion? Well, none of us do. So who remembers the founding principles of the National Party? And that was to promote good citizenship and self-reliance, to combat communism and socialism, to maintain freedom of contact, to encourage private enterprise, to safeguard individual rights and the privilege of ownership, to oppose interference by the state in business and state control of industry. Well, if National can't go back to its own basics, let's bring back Winston.